they hold 25% shares in Safaricom. So what we are saying is, as at this time, the majority shareholder, and the law of companies is very clear. There is a majority of a shareholder who influences a decision making on the table of a company. And if a majority of a shareholder has 50 plus 1, then he has the veto powers of making a decision in a company. But as at this structure, you will find that the majority shareholder is Vodacom or Vodafone, which has 40% of shares in this PLC company. Then the government has 35% of shares, then the public has 25% of shares. That is as per the IPPO of 2008 that opened. An IPPO is where shares were listed on the Nairobi Security Exchange. 25% of shares where it allowed for the public to be able to purchase shares from the Nairobi Security Exchange. We will be able to cover how do you buy shares from a firm, how do you get those shares, where are they sold, how are they advertised, and then how do you bid for buy of shares on the Nairobi Security Exchange market. And we will be able to cover the entire Nairobi Security Exchange market, how it works, when it works, what determines the share price of a commodity on the Nairobi Security Exchange market. Perfect. So we have agreed that the government at 2008 retained 35% of shares. So up to that point, we are all understanding each other that Safaricom PLC, it came into a PLC or basing on an IPPU of 2008, where now the state retained 35% of the shares, 25 sold to the public, and 40% went to Vodafone or Vodacom company, and that is what happened. And then the government comes in now. The big question tonight. Oh my goodness. The government comes in now and says, look, we want to be able to sell 15% stake. 15% stake, basing on the calculations of the value of shares that the government holds in Safaricom. 15% share stake in Safaricom for the state is 6 billion shares. So the government will be able to sell 6 billion shares at a cost of 204 billion. That is 15% stake. So if before we proceed to annulling or to disqualifying or qualifying the point of selling the 6 billion to at a